Hello and welcome to my birthday and another trip around the sun. How is everybody going? I hope everybody had an eye-opening experience with the full moon in Capricorn. I'm pretty sure we're all kind of very much aware now where we need to let go of the old program, where we need to make changes and be more self-sufficient, like stronger within ourselves. And also, I forgot to mention last video is that there's going to be 2 full moons in Capricorn. Now, the first one that we had was on the degree of Capricorn, and so that was also highlighting the solstice. So there's a big importance here, 2 full moons in Capricorn, and then the first one was brought in with the solstice change of season. So there's something of significance here. And because, I don't know if you've heard the saying, once in a blue moon, that's from having the same full moon in the 2 full moons in the same sign. So if you didn't know that, now you do. So it's going to be a once in a blue moon aspect next full moon. So yeah, so it's just very, very significant, this Capricorn full moon. And another thing too is there's not going to be a Cancer full moon this year either. So this is really being highlighted, something we need to process in Capricorn. And also as well, like this next full moon in Capricorn, the second one, is going to be at the final degree, 29 degrees, and it's going to be conjunct Pluto. And also the ruler of that full moon is going to be stationing retrograde, so going backwards. So it's very, very significant. And for me, like what stands out for me is like what I mentioned last week, which is internal security and emotional self-reliance, self-regulation, and self-nurturing and support. Because like what I said last week is like Capricorn is our outside structures. It's our 3D reality. It's our career. It's how we make money. It's how we have external security. And Cancer, the opposite end of the spectrum, is our internal security. It represents the mother, it represents the home, it represents our emotions, it represents our emotional support, our emotional security. So this is really being highlighted, especially because a full moon means fruition. It's come to an ending, it's come to a completion. You know, what do we need to integrate where the sun is, you know, which is that emotional support, emotional security. And I can't stress it enough. And maybe because I'm born on this full moon as well, so I know it very well because it's very much a life theme of mine. So it's definitely something that we need to be paying attention to. And this means, like with what the messages have been the last few weeks, is moving into what we need to really be doing, getting rid of the old patterns and processes and activities and things that we would usually do that isn't good for our soul, that isn't good for our heart, that doesn't make us feel good. Sun in Cancer. And another thing too, like for those who are awake, you know, we talk a lot about how we want people to wake up. You know, we're the 99%. And the thing is, like, until we sort out our own stuff, and until we start like addressing our own voids and our own escapism and our own issues and our own problems, because we all have problems and we all know what they are and we all know how to fix them, you know, and we're all scared to make the change just in case it's boring and I'm not satisfied and my needs don't get, what if my needs don't get met if I change who I am and what I do? And, you know, like, what if everybody hates me if I cut off these people, or, you know, don't do this job anymore, or blah, 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 blah. You know, there's a lot of fear for people not to want to change and address their voids. You know, people would rather be shopaholics or workaholics or have sex addictions or smoke weed every day or drink, or, do you know what I mean? Like, people are very motivated to avoid pain and fear. But the thing is, until we face our own demons, we're not going to be able to come together as the 99% and face the real problem, and we all know what the real problem is. So, and it's easy to point fingers and say, oh, well, this person needs to fix this, and, everybody needs to fix all this stuff. We all have stuff we need to fix. We all have stuff we need to change. And 2 full moons in Capricorn is the soldier. It's the army general. It's the officer. It's the police officer. It's the government. It's the elite. Like, this is this is an order. Sort your shit out, work it out, be that internal pillar of strength, because we've got some pretty scary stuff coming down the pipeline. And, even in a month's time, we might see some, call to action and, big war issues going on. So this is where we need to be really strong within ourselves. We can't have people skipping out and, running into addictions because they can't live in their own skin. They can't live in their own body. So, and face what's happening, what we're having to address. So it's just a message for everyone, is that, like, we the people are the 99%, and to come together as the 99%, we all have to deal with our problems. And that's what the elite do. They use our voids and our pain against us and have avenues for us to have addictions, so we don't have to address our problems, so we stay asleep. So we keep doing the program that they want to do. So until we fix our internal world, our emotional world, our heart, our mind, we're going to be easily influenced by those in power. So, if for people awake, even people that are awake at this time that didn't drink the Kool-Aid and all that type of stuff, we all still have problems we have to address. Like, even me, myself. So, nobody's, not having to fix things at this time. Sorry, I just lost my words. But yes, so definitely at this point in time, the message is internal security, sort your shit out. Like, it's a big message in the sky. And another thing, which is also highlighting this again, which is the Mercury, Venus, and Sun squaring the nodes. So this was happening last week, and it'll be happening throughout this week as well. And the nodes is in the Libra Aries dynamic, and Libra is about everybody else. People pleasing, getting my needs met by everybody else, not going my own way, just doing what everybody else wants. And also codependency and so many other things. And the North Node is in Aries, which is saying go your own way. Break out of the societal mold, go to the beat of your own drum. This is the square that these planets are making to these nodes. So it's just like, to be able to move from where the South Node is Libra, being part of a society and people pleasing and doing what everybody else is doing, to be able to get to the direction of going to the beat of our own drum, going our own way, Aries, we have to have emotional security, emotional support within our own being, not looking for things outside of ourselves to get there. We have to be a pillar of strength within ourselves, emotional self-reliance. And it really brings up, like, say like the dynamic of narcissism, right? When you're a child, like you're a baby, this is what we call healthy narcissism, because the child, all it knows is itself. It only knows its own world. It only knows what it wants. And that's the only thing is what's important. So a child wants food, a child is tired, a child is, wants to go to bed. It's all about me, 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 me. And, when there's issues in childhood, within the development stages, we have adults that then that healthy narcissism as a little child becomes toxic narcissism as an adult, where the adult still is in that bubble of my needs are the only ones that are important. It's only my view that's important. And, what I think and what I believe and what I feel is the only thing that matters. You know, this is where we find the toxic narcissism, and I feel like this is what we're really needing to understand and wake up from, because, you know, there is a spectrum of narcissism that is, you know, healthy and unhealthy. And, you know, we see a lot of narcissism in the world, you know, especially since with social media, and people are so disconnected since the pandemic, you know, like just not being able to connect to people. And obviously there are people with childhood issues that have extreme cases of this. So this is where we're needing to go in and check out our own, you know, internal narcissism stuff or whatever we might have going on. Like, are we expecting the outside world just to go with whatever we want? Are we needing other people to fill the void? Are we using other people as appliances to fill our own need, you know? Like, and we might do it subconsciously, but we need to be that pillar of strength and move forward to that Aries direction where we're not this young juvenile child that only has their own needs and nobody else matters. So I hope that makes sense, but there's a lot of psychological stuff going on, a lot of stuff with feelings and being your own pillar of strength. And what do you mean? What's another word? Self-soothing would even be the thing. You know, like we've all got it tough right now. Life is freaking hard. You know, it's like one step forward, two steps back, and it's happening for all of us. But we need to be able to not go back to the old ways that we used to go back to escape or feel better or, you know, numb out or whatever it is. We have to just keep going forward, you know, like be that soldier. In Capricorn, you just keep going up that hill, you know, and that's actually one of the cards that I got today actually is ascending uphill. So there's just a lot of stuff with codependency, because Cancer does bring up codependency and manipulation. You know, like that is actually a Cancer trait on the negative sense, is that, you know, like manipulating people to get your needs met because you're not meeting them yourself. You know, like, and also understanding, like, I think the biggest thing here on a more positive note is that we're all seeking real connection, something that's real and something that's deep and something that's significant that we can live for and feel part of something, you know. And to get there, we need to meet ourselves there. If we can't meet our own depths, we're not going to attract people that meet us at that level, and we can't give that to others. So that intimacy and depth that we're so craving, especially we're going to be craving even more as we move into the AI generation, which has already begun anyway, like we're really needing to connect. And, you know, we're really needing humanity as people come together as well. And so that means to get there, we need to work out our stuff. We need to self-reflect and go down and actually look ourselves in the mirror and admit to ourselves, this is what I do. And how do I fix it? How can I change? And knowing that I'm going to be all right when I make those changes. My needs are going to get met and I'm going to be satisfied. And it's not going to be boring and, you know, all those types of things. So, yeah, this is very much what I really had to think about over the weekend while I was doing my liver and gallbladder flush. During the full moon in Capricorn, like literally 24 hours of no food, drinking disgusting things, being on the toilet, and literally a headache for 24 hours. So, but successfully, I think I lost about over 200 gallstones, like little tiny green gallstones. So I was pretty excited, like I felt pretty good. Like I still feel pretty good actually. Very energized, very clear. Yeah, I feel really great. So if you haven't done a liver and gallbladder flush, so anyone over 30 has gallstones. And end of story. And so especially these days, probably even earlier now, because how many chemicals, like it's literally, we're getting sprayed with chemicals are everywhere. So yeah, liver and gallbladder flush, it's not for the faint-hearted, I tell you. I literally just hung in there by thread. But yeah, anyway, I forgot what I was talking about, the liver and gallbladder flush. Oh yeah. So during that time when I couldn't eat or do anything and just lie there and wait for the stones to come out, yeah, I had a lot of time to think about this and what we need to do, and just, especially because it's a full moon that I'm born on as well. So, yeah, so what else do I want to say? Yes, that's pretty much it really. Okay, now, this is a bit in advance, but I think we need to know. So there's an aspect that's going to be happening on July the 16th in Australia and July 15th in the rest of the world in the north. And this is going to be Mars-Uranus with the fixed star Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus. Now, look, Algol is known as the demon star. And if we think about it, Mars is the god of war, and what's it called again? Uranus is like the radical change master. It's like a lightning bolt of change, like unapologetic, bang, your whole world's like gone. Okay, so I want to talk about Algol. Now, yeah, so Algol was known as the demon star, the most violent and unfortunate star. And it's also the star of the beheading, so off with their head. So this is when Medusa was beheaded as well, when this aspect was highlighted. Yeah, so Algol was being highlighted when Medusa had her head removed. Now, there's a story I actually want to tell you about Medusa, which is really freaking awful, actually. So Medusa, she was a priestess, and one of the most beautiful priestesses in the land, obviously in Greece. And she served Pallas Athena in a temple. Now, Pallas Athena was married to Neptune, and Neptune's the god of the ocean, and he raped Medusa. And then, because she was defiled and no longer a virgin, not even her own fault, she was then turned into a gorgon. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody rapes you, like, how is it your fault? But obviously in those times, like, you know, you're no longer innocent. It's your own fault, you know? And, you know, no wonder Medusa was angry. So, and the thing is with Medusa, she was also outcasted. So she was outcasted and outcasted to Sicily and turned into a gorgon. Now, she also had snake for hair, as we all know, and if you look in her eyes, you will turn to stone. And then Perseus beheaded her while she was sleeping. Now, like, seriously, like, this just brings me back to, like, this old programming of this, you know, mental programming of, you know, innocent people being treated like they're the monster, and then when they do become a monster because of how they were treated, then they're beheaded. Now, there's many stories here. It says that Perseus was in love with Medusa and that he chopped her head off to save her. And then there's also other stories where he beheaded her and then took her head and then used it to then kill his enemies. But yeah, it's just, anyway, I'm just talking about Algol, but it's just pretty much saying that Algol is, you know, the demon star. It's the most unfortunate star. It's the star of a beheading, the beheading of Medusa. So that's why it's really important that we take notice of this date. Like, I personally think, this is my prediction, is that we're going to have some kind of news of war, some kind of world war, or something escalating with the Middle East stuff, like something, or we're going to have a volcanic eruption in Sicily at Mount Etna, because obviously that's where Medusa was also beheaded as well. Because we've got to think about it, like, Mars is the god of war with Uranus, with Algol. You know, so something is coming down the pipeline. And that is why I'm saying to you guys, like, it's so important that we have this internal structure. Like, we're going to go through hell soon. Like, really, especially the people that are awake. Like, whatever we've gone through, like, with the pandemic and all that type of stuff, and is nothing compared to what lies ahead. So it's so important that we get here sorted. Like, if you're still escaping and having addictions and all this type of stuff, like, sort it out. Seriously, sort it out, like, for yourself, because you deserve better and because you need to be strong going forward. Like, you're not of use to anyone or yourself when you're weak. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with being weak and needing support, nurturing, but at this time it's so important that we really work on our stuff. I really hope that's connected. That's weird that it said 20% battery. Anyway, yes. So, yeah, so the main things is we're, for this period of time, we're all really needing real intimacy, real connection with people, and to wake up. Like, wake up, sort it out. Capricorn is the general. Sort it out. And be willing to change. You might not be able to change everything all at once, but you can do something today. You can take one step today to change. You know, like, it's so simple. And then once you've taken that one step, you can take the next step. Okay, so there's some other things that I want to talk about, actually, which is Julian Assange, which is the Australian WikiLeaks guy that, you know, released all that information about what the government was doing. Now, so he's being released, or well, he's been sent to another jail. But for me, I don't know. Immediately, I'm always very skeptical about anything. So I just thought, is it a clone? Is he being cloned? Has he been murdered? And then they're sending this body to another prison, you know? And then I thought, okay, so there's the American elections coming up. Is this for some kind of, you know, so the freedom fighters of the world then choose this other government? Or do you know what I mean? Like, there's always some kind of reason why they do what they do, because there's no reason for them to let go of Julian Assange. So there's something dodgy about it, like, especially out of nowhere, you know. Another thing too, I don't know if you guys have seen that video where there's a girl and she's talking about, I think it's a short or something, but she's talking about how on Facebook and social media, how you'll see a post about something, and how, you know, like, men are seeing a different thing where all men are supporting each other and women are terrible, and then women are all seeing these certain comments and then thinking that all men are terrible. And it's not just gender, it can be anything. It can be whatever topic it is. It could be Palestine and Israel. But the social media companies are controlling what we see, you know, controlling the narrative. So just be aware that, you know, this is happening, you know, that you're being directed to see certain things, you know, to influence what you believe, you know, like, just understand that, yeah, we're being controlled. Our minds are being controlled to, you know, to their direction, or what they're wanting to project onto the world, because the more people that believe it, you know, that narrative, the more successful they are. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen that video, if it does come onto your feed, but it is quite interesting. When I find it, I'm going to post it on my page again. So, yeah. Yes, I think that's it. Too much talking today. I don't know, maybe I'm just excited because it's my birthday. Alrighty, cards for the week. Alrighty, so first up we have Remembrance. Okay, so I think, okay, especially because we're in the Cancer Capricorn polarity, and it's all about the past. So we're needing to remember past situations so that will help us make the change that we need to make going forward, you know, because we've all had certain patterns play out over and over and over and over and over again. So we're needing to really go back and look at the past and how many times we've done this, you know, like, and where we might have got this certain thing from. Like the other night I had a dream about my stepdad. Like, he was terrible. Like, he just took a complete advantage of my mom. Like, they were together and they bought a house together, and then he took half of everything or something like that. Like, he was always taking advantage of my mum, getting her to buy investment properties and things like that. And for some reason I dreamt about this the other night. Like, he did this multiple times while he was cheating on her, which I probably shouldn't talk about this on my on my channel. But yeah, so they got together when I was a kid, like 13 or something. And then he made her buy another house and then another house. And then she was paying all the mortgage and he was just paying the bills or something like that. But then when he left after she busted him cheating on her with so many other people, like all around Australia, he then just took everything. And then they got back together and then they got another place together and he did the same thing. And it just reminded me, like, of just like narcissistic, toxic people that just use people, you know. And I don't know why I had to go back to that situation in life and how it correlates to me now. But it was just like, I don't know, maybe I needed to share something intimate with you guys. So there's a chain reaction. But anyway, for me, it's kind of very much spurred me on to make changes in my own life and have strong boundaries with people that I know aren't good people. Like, I always try to be fair and loving and understanding and forgiving of everybody, because I always believe we all have a place, you know, like we all have a reason for being here. But I think, I don't know, like, I'm definitely needing to implement, you know, a lot of the things that are, you know, playing out in our world at the moment. But anyway, besides all that rambling, you might have some remembering to do from the past, because the Cancer Capricorn polarity is all about the past. It's about going back, it's about karma, it's about the past, it's about our ancestry, our family bloodline. It's that's the kind of, you know, polarity that we're dealing with. So you might have to go back and relive some stuff to be able to move forward. I've also got liberation, breaking free from the known, breaking free from the pattern that we need to change. And what I was saying before is ascending the mountain, keep going forward. Capricorn is the goat, you know, like the goats. Have you seen those pictures of Capricorns on mountains? Like, that is crazy, you know, like, and so it's really about, like, keep ascending that mountain. You keep going up, okay? It doesn't matter what setbacks you have, you know, what's thrown in your face, you just keep going up. And then I've also got the Italian gypsy card, which is La Amenti. And alrighty, I'm a bit worried. It looks like my battery's gonna die, but it's like plugged in. So weird. Okay, so I've got the Two of Swords, I've got the Five of Wands, and I've got the World, and I've got the Ten of Cups. Now, okay, so it looks like to me that we're needing to make a decision, okay? And after we make that decision, it is going to be a bit of a fight. You know, like, you're gonna have to stick your grounds. And then I think that's when we're gonna have, you know, like the World, success, completion, Ten of Cups, happiness, fulfillment. We're gonna have fulfillment from doing the work. You know, we're not gonna have fulfillment from escaping to our addictions, to fill our voids, to numb out, you know, like, to check out, you know, like, we're not gonna get satisfaction and comfort and happiness from that. You know, we're gonna get that from doing the work, doing the uncomfortable stuff. So, yes. But yes, that's it for me, guys, I think. Yes. Anyway, I hope you all have a really great week. Hope I haven't overloaded you with too much stuff. I don't know, maybe it's just my birthday special to share a lot with you guys. But anyway, I will see you guys next week and have a wonderful week. Bye.